Say hi to Jamie Mallory, producer on Starfield at Bethesda Games Studio. If you've seen our latest Starfield Direct, you'll already be familiar with Jamie's animal-themed spaceships and sandwich space piracy. But Jamie has been a part of the Bethesda family since 2013. From id Software to Bethesda Game Studios Dallas, Jamie's journey through the video game industry has allowed for touches on so many of the Bethesda titles. What is your role at Bethesda Game Studio? What does a normal day look like for you? I'm a producer who is lucky enough to support some amazing strike teams. A strike team is a group of talented developers across disciplines who come together with a common goal in mind, and they're like a Swiss Army knife of the game development world. Each bring their unique skills to design and implement awesome features. Now picture this, my workday begins with a heroic sized cup of tea because let's face it, we all need a little liquid courage to face the challenges ahead. The first order of business is bug triage. It's like being a detective. As a team, we investigate each issue, ask questions, and evaluate the risk of the issue. Once we have cracked the case, I make sure to assign them to the right individual or team to be worked on. Next comes the dreaded email inbox. I'm a self-proclaimed inbox zero lady, which means I can't stand to see a bunch of unanswered messages staring me, judging my productivity. But I'm not just a producer, I'm also a buffer and an unblocker extraordinaire. I protect my team from the unnecessary distractions and remove any obstacles, which means I am in constant communication with senior leadership, leads, and other producers, making sure we prioritize correctly and keep the project on track. It's like being the conductor of a well-orchestrated symphony, ensuring that all the right notes are played by the right teams at the right times. So there you have it. That's me, the tea-sipping, inbox zero championing, to-do list wielding, buffer and unblocking producer. When we work in sync and attached at the hips, we're unstoppable and we'll create a game that will blow everyone's socks off. What was your path into the producer role and how long have you been with Bethesda? Here's a fun story about my journey into the gaming industry. After graduating college with a degree in international trade, that is rather interesting, I started down the path of becoming an investment advisor at a wirehouse. Little did I know that my husband, who always had a passion for getting into the gaming industry, would change the course of my career. He had been a conference associate for the Game Developers Conference, the GDC, in San Francisco for several years. When we got married, he convinced me to apply as a CA for a part of our honeymoon. I was a bit reluctant, but in the end, very happy I had listened to him. During my time as a CA, I had the pleasure of meeting incredible individuals who were either looking to break into the gaming industry or were seasoned veterans. I had so much fun that I started attending the conference every year, and before I knew it, I went from being a CA to being demoted to staff CA. But let's fast forward just a bit. The stock market crash and my investment advisory job lost its sparkle. I had moved to Dallas, Texas with my husband, and luckily, I was close to some friends I had made at GDC. One evening while venting about my job at a pub, I met with Grant Schonkwiller. Yep, I butchered that name, sorry. Who is currently an employee at id Software. He mentioned that there were contract QA positions available for their next game, which could provide the change I needed. I took a leap of faith, applied, and after an interview, I found myself welcomed onto the team. Initially, the contract was for working on Doom 2016's multiplayer, but plans changed and I ended up shifting to another project that had a release date that year, Wolfenstein: The New Order. That's where my love for working in video games truly blossomed. I was able to collaborate with individuals from multiple studios working towards a shared goal. It was an amazing experience. When my contract came to an end, I was fortunate enough to be hired as a full-time employee at id Software. Over the next 5 years, I had the privilege of working on incredible games like Doom, Quake Champions, Prey, Wolfenstein: The New Order, Doom Eternal, and Doom VFR. My role evolved over time from contract QA to lead QA. But as time went on, I started pondering my future aspirations. I wanted to have a larger role, be part of the decision-making process, and work more closely with developers. And so, after numerous conversations with in-industry and in-studio friends, and probably a few beers, I set my sights on production as a goal. That's when an amazing opportunity came up at Bethesda Dallas. I applied for the associate producer position and was invited for an interview. I met my future boss, Jesse Flanagan, as well as the studio directors, Mark Tardif and Tom Mustaine. From the moment we started talking, I was captivated by their love for the studio, their unwavering support for their teams, and the incredible energy they brought. During the interview, when asked about my long-term goals, I couldn't help but let my enthusiasm shine through. With wide eyes, I said, I want to be an executive producer one day. I want to be like you guys, walking across the stage at E3 to showcase the amazing work our teams have created. I even have my E3 song already picked out. Now this is where I screwed up. The next question is obvious, and I felt it in my stomach. I had gotten ahead of myself without thinking about the consequences. Mark and Jesse were staring at me, and the question came, and what song is that? Well, already in the thick of it, might as well let them know the type of person they are thinking about hiring. I sheepishly replied, Bad Motherfucker by Biting Elbows. And oh boy, without hesitation, Jesse and Mark burst into laughter, and I was relieved to know I had found my tribe. Fast forward 4 years and I'm still with Bethesda, loving every moment of it. I see a bright future ahead. Well, unless they get tired of my shenanigans, of course. But all jokes aside, I've discovered my passion for game production and being a part of the creative process. I'm excited to continue growing and contributing to this incredible studio and industry. Do you have a favorite project you worked on? One that stands out in Starfield, the level of team collaboration on that project was off the charts, especially when it came to Ship Builder. We had an amazing team with some developers who worked on the incredible Snap mods in Doom 2016. And we've got this massive list of exciting features we're looking forward to discussing and potentially implementing in the future. But shh, I can't spill all the details here. Just thinking about the possibilities gets my dopamine pumping. Now, as for the wackiest title I've had the pleasure of working on, Doom VFR. Picture this. We were on a mission to figure out VR locomotion that wouldn't make players lose their lunch while still maintaining that fast-paced, no-holds-barred Doom experience. Let me tell you, there were countless sessions where me and my team would be sitting in a chair with a trusty trash can between our ankles testing different ideas. I'll never forget the time the developers introduced a Roomba-like device that could zip, drifting around the corners at high speed. It was a riot. But for all the obvious reasons, we eventually had to remove it. Still, it was an absolute blast working on this title. And I'll never forget the joy of being at E3, helping run the booth for Doom VFR. Seeing people get scared and start screaming was priceless. It was these unique experiences that make each project special and keep me excited about doing the work I do. I'm truly grateful for the opportunities I've had and can't wait to see what other incredible adventures lie ahead. What was the first project you worked on at Bethesda? Starfield holds a special place in my heart because it's my very first project with Bethesda. As the Strike Team producer, I had the privilege of working on some amazing aspects of the game. I was responsible for supporting the ship builder, the star map, terminals, mission boards, and to top it all off, I was part of the streaming Strike Team within the systems discipline. Working on Ship Builder was an absolute blast, collaborating with the talented and imaginative team to create intricate, awe-inspiring, and silly spacecraft was entertaining and fulfilling. As for the star map, we got to craft a map that would be part of the immersive universe that players could use to explore space and find where to go next on their adventures. The terminals added another layer of depth to the game, usually giving players more insight into the story and lore for the area they are currently in. The mission board also kept us on our toes, ensuring players had exciting challenges to tackle while exploring the cosmos. Being part of the streaming Strike Team within systems was an excellent experience. We worked tirelessly to optimize and enhance the technology of the game, ensuring a seamless and immersive gameplay experience. It's all about ensuring that players could dive into the world without any hiccups. What's your favorite thing about being a producer? One of my absolute favorite parts of my role is the interaction with the developers. We're all gathered around a table or in a video call due to the pandemic, brainstorming and throwing out these wild pie-in-the-sky ideas. It's a room full of passionate nerds, and the creativity that flows in those moments is nothing short of magical. We're all gamers at heart, so we're not just making a game, we're creating something that we personally want to play and enjoy. I think what truly makes my heart swell is the camaraderie and bond I share with the developers I support. We're like a tight-knit family in the trenches, supporting each other through the thick and thin. We go beyond the professional realm and genuinely care about one another's well-being. We're always checking in, asking about each other's families, and making sure everyone is taken care of. It's a beautiful thing to be a part of. I feel incredibly fortunate to work alongside some of the most remarkable individuals in the world. These talented folks bring their passion, dedication, and brilliance to the table every day. They inspire me, challenge me, and push me to be the best version of myself. I'm truly grateful to have such an incredible team in my life. It's not just a job, it's a shared adventure filled with laughter, creativity, and genuine connections. I cherish every moment spent with these talented nerds who have become my dear friends. What's your favorite game or a game that really inspires you? This question. I do not know why this question drives some anxiety. It's like I don't want to pick a few among the many. A game that I've been smitten with for a long time and often gift to the unsuspecting soul who hasn't experienced the glorious chaos is Untitled Goose Game. Oh boy, this game. Taking control of a mischievous goose and wreaking havoc on unsuspecting people in an English village. It's pure delight for all ages. I followed the development team of this game for years, and when it finally launched, House, the brilliant minds behind it, did not disappoint. For a cozy and chill gaming experience, I turned to Animal Crossing: The New Horizons. This game has a special place in my heart, and I find myself returning to my island year after year. Running around, decorating, building, and ensuring that Blathers has a fully stocked museum is a joy. It's a game where you can easily pick up and play whenever you have a spare moment or that irresistible itch. The ever-changing events and seasons, the beautiful weather, I once witnessed a double rainbow, and the calming soundtrack make it a perfect escape from the daily stress-filled hustle. However, let's keep my in-game hours to a secret. I suspect I may have reached the 4,000 to 5,000 mark by now. When I'm in the mood for a quick game, I often dive into a card game like Slay the Spire or Hearthstone Battlegrounds. They provide the perfect balance of strategy and enjoyment, keeping me entertained in short bursts. As for sandbox games, I have a soft spot for Planet Zoo. Who can resist the adorable platypus in the Wetland Pack? Certainly not me. Another sandbox gem I adore is 2 Point Hospital and its sequel, 2 Point Campus. In fact, I remember when 2 Point Campus came out during QuakeCon last year, a time when my friends and I gathered for an epic multiplayer games LAN party. Oh man, that's a throwback, LAN party, Jesus. That release took over my QuakeCon experience entirely. I still feel somewhat bad that I spent a lot of that time in a single player game, but we all had a great time. And let's not forget about multiplayer games. Let's start with Destiny 2, a game that has captured my heart. The weapons are fantastic, the environments are breathtaking, and the fast-paced combat makes me feel like an absolute badass. And let's not forget about the jaw-dropping armor sets that can make my character look like a true legend. But here's the fun part. They've got a team that knows how to inject some silliness into the mix. From Ace Ventura emotes to the hilarious tiny vehicles that can make your friends burst into laughter as you zoom past them, it's a delightful blend of epic moments and lighthearted fun. If we were talking about a multiplayer game that will always get my friends to play on any Friday night, then Golf It takes the crown. This discovery during the pandemic quickly became our go-to game as soon as everyone finished work and poured themselves a well-deserved beverage to start the weekend. We love it so much that one of the levels, Sky Valley, even inspired an epic lore-filled Indiana Jones adventure for a bachelor party. Who knew golf could be so inspiring? One of the most incredible aspects of my work is the unwavering support and encouragement I receive from my peers and leadership. I'm not shy about coming up with wild and crazy ideas, and instead of shooting them down with a resounding, "You're insane," they will actually consider them. They're always willing to give my ideas a shot while adding their own brilliant twist and turns to the mix. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But nevertheless, I feel the support, the encouragement they provide me. It's not every day that you find such a nurturing and supportive environment in the game industry. So I consider myself incredibly fortunate to be surrounded by these amazing individuals. You recently won a lot of hearts and minds with the recent reveal of the amazing animal-themed spaceships you like to build in Starfield, including your love for sandwich piracy. Do you have a favorite Starfield creation, complete or not yet started? And what is the end goal for a Bagate Bandit? Is there a secret provolone palace on some random planet in the Outer Rim where you're storing all of these savory spoils. One of my absolute favorite pastimes is creating unique ships in Ship Builder, such as the now infamous ship, the HMS Platypus. The idea for the Platypus ship came from a dear friend, Alexis, who happened to be an incredibly talented environmental artist at id Software. She has an undying love for these quirky creatures. Can you blame her? Platypuses are just the epitome of adorable weirdness. I even have socks adorned with the delightful paddle of platypuses. They never fail to make me smile. Yeah, that was a kind of a tricky word to say right there. If you won't watch out, you might find that on another video website on the internet. But wait, there are more terrible ideas for ships. One of which is a colossal sandwich soaring through space, aptly named the Griller. And that is why it's a bummer that Starfield is only single player. It is seeing your creations of different ships flying around in space. That is hilarious. The name itself strikes fear, but when you witness the mammoth sub-like creation gracefully landing in a cutscene or zipping across the cosmos, it's pure comedic gold. It reminds me of those moments in games where you unlock these outrageous pre-order outfits or items for your character, only to find them amid a serious cutscene where someone has tragically perished. Or the menacing villains make their grand entrance. It's absurd, it's hilarious, and it never fails to bring a big old grin to my face. I've become quite an expert at capturing screenshots to share with my fellow coworkers who appreciate a good laugh as much as I do. Now, as for the preferred provolone palace, I must confess I like to keep my sandwiches or other stolen bounty close at hand on my ship. It adds a slight element of risk during those thrilling dogfights. But hey, now that you've mentioned it, an outpost on Earth's moon, Luna, doesn't sound like such a bad idea. Especially since it's made entirely of cheese. Just kidding, no cheese there. Do you have a favorite aspect, quest, character, moment, theme of the game you're currently working on so far? Most of the content we are currently working on is behind the scenes to the player, such as optimization, etc. But let me tell you about my recent playtesting adventures. Lately, I've been diving deep into the quest lines of all the different factions, and I've been pleasantly surprised by the incredible variety in their storylines. It's like unlocking a treasure trove of captivating narratives that many folks might not even realize exist. While some may rush through the main Golden Path storyline, those intrepid explorers who venture off the beaten path and delve into the faction quests are in for a real treat. The amount of content packed in these faction storylines is truly astonishing. It's like embarking on a grand adventure within an adventure, where every choice you make and every interaction you have shapes the course of the tale. The character development, the plot twists, the moral dilemmas, I've been completely hooked. These quests offer a chance to delve deeper into the game's rich lore and uncover hidden gems that add layers of depth and excitement to the overall experience. So my fellow gamers, I urge you to take a detour from the main storyline and explore the fascinating world of Faction Quest. Trust me, the rewards are well worth the extra time and effort. Prepare to be enthralled by the intricate storytelling and immersive gameplay that awaits you. It's like unwrapping a surprise gift within the game itself, a gift that will leave you with unforgettable memories and a renewed appreciation for the boundless creativity of the designers and game developers. Happy questing. Well, there you go. That was the entire article about Jamie Mallory, one of the producers there at Bethesda. She definitely seems like the kind of person you want to have in your game sessions because she definitely seems like she has a lot of fun. You even get a lot of that from the Starfield Direct and what she kind of showed off at the Starfield Direct. One question I have had for a long time, though, is how in-depth and how long, how intricate are the faction quest lines and stories. So her commentary there at the end was really kind of nice to hear, especially hearing how, in depth it sounds like they're going to be. That sounds fantastic. Let me know what you think and what some of your takeaways are, because I thought this was actually some pretty good insight, just kind of hearing some of the thought process and really kind of, maybe even some of just the morale about, just Bethesda and the studio. So I thought it was pretty good. Alrighty, take care.